So, it's Rob, and it's
Crazybear,
and we're on our way to do some videos and some writing and all kinds of fun stuff. But we're going to call this a Crazybear Rob Day, where we don't have no dogs, we don't have any
wives.
Hold on, we got a passerby. Hold on, look at that. That dude's pretty cool. He's cruising. Okay, but we don't have what?
Wives.
So we're letting the inmates run the insane asylum today. So let's see what we can get out of it. So, do you feel like you're in the hot seat?
I'm in the hot seat.
You're in the hot seat. Do you feel like you can drive and do a video safely?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I could even chew gum if you need me to.
Okay.
No problem.
So we were talking, and one of the things that I grew up doing was going outdoors. You know, you always took me fishing and camping and hiking and caving and rock climbing and hunting and, you know, gold panning. I think we've done just about anything you could possibly do.
Just about,
okay.
Yeah.
You know, of course, people grow up and things happen. I've personally moved out of the picture for a little while, but you know, I kind of wanted to see what drew you to those type of adventures.
Well, as you know, I'm the oldest of 7 kids, and my mom was very adventurous and very hands-on with us kids. So she had us out in the desert, she had us out in the mountains, she had us climbing trees. So it was pretty natural for me growing up that way. The thing that I tried to do the most was be that type of a person for you when you were growing up, and I hope that you've experienced that same livelihood that I did as I was growing up. So naturally it was very important to me to be that way, and now that we're both together doing this together, that's even better. That's my goal.
So it was what, 8 years ago, maybe 9. Holy cow, hold on, we got to interrupt. We got jet skis. 2 trucks with jet skis.
ATVs for water.
Yeah. Okay, back to us. We're selfish like that, but about 8 years ago, it doesn't matter. So 8-9 years ago, I bought my first ATV, and I kind of ridden ATVs through the years, but literally it was my first impulse buy, and what the point I'm making is it opened and changed how I interact with nature in a big way, and it was a very positive experience. But I would imagine my experience is different than yours. So after a couple years, I decided to go ahead and get rid of the Honda and get the Polaris, and you got the Honda, or you bought the Honda. How did that impact you?
Well, you know, this has been a really interesting point in my life, and I'm really glad you're bringing it up, because I was gonna offer it up. This is something that I'm sure a lot of people experience in their lives. I'm 70 years old now, and as I was growing up, I was real active. I worked on horseback. I rode horses. I rode motorcycles. I hiked. I hunted. I fished. I boated. I did all of those things. Now that I'm getting older, I'm doing less. My days of hiking is gone to just short walks from the vehicle, not mile hikes of exploring. And as I'm getting older, I'm finding myself unable to be outside as often as I normally like to be, and it was really, really bothering me. And when you and Rebecca came over to the house that day and told us that you were going to sell the Honda and get yourself a new ATV, the Polaris, well, I didn't realize it at the time what it actually meant, but we decided to go ahead and buy it from him. And I'd never really ridden an ATV, so I really didn't know what my intentions were. I didn't know how I was going to handle it and how it was going to impact me. So I started, we bought it from you. You went and you bought your Polaris, and I started riding the Honda, learning out. I couldn't even put it in the damn thing in reverse, you know. But I figured all of those things out, and I started riding it, and I realized that what it's done is it's given me another avenue of my exploration, of getting out. It's like the days of my horseback riding and working on horses. That's what it reminds me of. I can get in just about anywhere. So I'm not, because of my age, unable to do anything. I now can move out anywhere I want to. It's created a whole new life experience for me, and I owe it all to the Honda. I owe it all to you in upgrading your ATV. And now we're riding together. So what more can we ask for here?
Yeah.
You know, so
well, it's interesting because, like, you taught me when you get into something, start off with, dipping your toes, learning it, and understand what you like and don't like, and want and don't want. And so my first fly rod wasn't a $1,000 fly rod. It was a $60 fly rod that I had to learn if I liked the length and the action. What does that mean? And it also weeds out the bullshit, basically, of people buying something and then storing it, right? And so I did that with the Honda. It was a great entry level, and now we got the Polaris, which I'd love to. We'll have some videos on the Polaris. We've been asked a couple times, but my point is, I dipped my toe in on the ATV, and it's basically changed my life in a different way. Mm-hmm. And how it changed my life in a different way is it created a way for me to bond with more people. So that way I can enjoy things that involved, like, my wife and my kids, and we all can't ride together all the time, but not everybody's into fishing. It just so happened I struck gold, and everybody's into ATVs and side by side. So it's been a journey, and 9 years later, and probably I was doing the math the other day for my trail mapping. I'm probably up over 11,000 miles of trails.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
So that gives you an idea how deeply this is for me. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, you took this like a fish in water, and you started off making videos in your backyard, mm-hmm. and driving over rocks.
Yeah.
We got a cyclist who's probably on the worst road to be riding without.
That's okay. He's safe with me on the road.
But you took to it like a fish out of water, and you dipping your toe in it, you created an obstacle course in your backyard and drove over it and filmed it so you can see what you're
learning.
What you're doing.
I was learning.
The reason why I bring that up is there's ways of... Sorry, guys. We have more cyclists. Hold on. He's now going the wrong way, which is actually illegal in the state. And he has a mountain bike, so he can get off on the road. But okay.
If I accidentally ran over him, I wanted to run over him slow and cautiously.
Yeah, one tire at a time. No rebound or bounce. Yeah,
that guy's in obviously trouble.
Yeah, he well, you can see. I'll slow it down, but you can see the look on his face. He had that shit moment. So I just, I guess where I'm getting at, I'm very long-winded at times, is for us, ATVs have changed our lives, not because we bought a toy and we're keeping up with the Joneses.
Right.
But it's because it's a new tool in our tool chest that we can go out and, see more things and do more things. And
absolutely. I can't express how important this is not only to people like me. This is my experience, but I know there's a lot of people out there that have the same situation who are just not able to express themselves in the way they used to, and that's in the way of just being able to get out, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, it's like a, you know, I hate to put it into these terms, but it's like a full dressed wheelchair. I can go anywhere, you know.
A battle-hardened wheelchair.
That's right. I can go anywhere. And I can go riding with you. I can keep up with you, and you and your friends. You know, we can all be very competitive in our driving and very explorative in the places we're going, and it's a whole new world for me. So every day I go riding is great. I love it. I hope more people see and understand and are able to utilize this point. This, you know, what we're talking about here. It's so cool. I just can't tell you. I just can't explain it any other way. It is so cool.
Yeah. Well, and the importance of this conversation is, in my book, is it always bothers me. Everybody can make their own decisions, right? But it troubles me that somebody would go through the effort and buy an ATV and it never leaves the garage.
It never leaves the garage.
Or they go, I'm too afraid to go and meet somebody to help me learn how to use this tool and this toy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it is, you know, the ATV is very dangerous. You can, and unfortunately, some people they get impacted by it, right? But the point I'm making is, reach out to the community. There are places in communities that allow you to find other riders. There's, you know, videos like ours where we're sharing as much information, but we're not extreme, you know, sport people. So it's if I can do it, anybody can do it. I guess is what I'm getting at.
On the on that subject, I have been so enthused and so involved and so want to be out there. I do a lot of riding on my own. I don't only ride with you, and I don't only ride with your friends. I do a lot of riding on my own, and I'll go out and I'll do my exploring. I bring my cameras. I go out and I do photography for my artwork, and I don't need to ride with anybody. I spend a lot of time by myself out in the mountains out there. Part of the responsibility in that type of riding is that I never put myself in a situation where I'm going to be in trouble or I can't get out of it on my own. I mean, that's common sense. And but if I were to rely on waiting for somebody else to want to go with me, I'd probably never go. Right.
And that's the same thing with me. I ride from the house most nights. I'm riding, and I don't know. It's a craft.
It is,
and we're I guess the thing that always took my interest out of the reason why we started doing, or I'm going to speak for myself if you don't mind. The reason why I started doing these videos is it was very easy to see the one-uppers, right? So you go on YouTube, and I'm friends with some of these channels, and I've been following them. But what do? They buy a side-by-side. They start off doing videos of a side-by-side, and then they get a new windshield, and they add features, and then it turns into, okay, how fast can I make this machine?
Yeah.
I want to drive 75 miles per hour through the mountains and not see a goddamn thing, and just that's a certain type of rider, and that's not me. I must smell the roses. I want to go slow. I want to go exploring, and so this channel is contradictory to what you normally see out there,
right?
Which is either I'm trying to sell you something, or I'm going to make something so badass that and you'll never be able to afford $70,000 between a side by side and all the upgrades.
Right. You just provided a segue for me. One of the things that I'm trying to convince your mom, Nana Dai, is that we can take a ride on the ATV and find ourselves a nice spot in the mountains up there, somewhere up cool up on top or with a great view. And I can cook dinner right off of a fire with a grill, or a small propane. I can make dinner. We carry our lawn chairs and a folding table. We could play Scrabble and just spend the afternoon there. We can ride to where we're going to be, enjoy the evening where we're at, spend time there, and then ride back and then come on home. So that segue that you gave me is I'm trying to sell this type of riding to your mom to get her more interested in being with me on the ATV and just spending a day out there instead of just taking the bike or taking the ATV out and riding all day long and then coming home and going to bed. There's several different ways you can ride, but you gave me that segue, so I took advantage of your.
No, that's fine.
So I wanted to give you my intentions with your mom. That's what I'm trying to get her to do, and I think it's working. We're going to be practicing this real soon. Didn't mean to steal your thunder.
No. I mean, ultimately, there's a motto, and I read it, I think it was in a Shackleton book, that adventure is not defined by miles, but by so basically, you don't have to travel 1,000 miles to find an adventure.
That's right.
Adventures happen within feet and inches of where you're standing. And, admittedly, when we get together to ride, we're going out to put miles on in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And it's just because we don't have enough opportunity to.
Right. The time that we get to spend on the ATVs and together is very short and very limited. So you're trying to accomplish as much as possible. Quantity is not always quality, but when you're stuck with just a short amount of time, you try to jam everything into that short amount of time. So we're learning. We're still learning on that phase.
So that's why today's agenda is really for you folks. We've had a lot of things we've talked about wanting to do, videos we've been wanting to do, and I don't necessarily think that we dig into the ability or give you the option to see us more in how we interact with doing things and conversations.
And also we're still learning how to communicate with you. Cameras, talking to you, how we're editing our videos, and we're still learning how to do that, because we didn't know how to do it and then start doing it. We're learning how to do it while we're learning how to do it.
Yeah.
So you have to bear with us on that, but we do definitely want to be a part of what you're interested in. We're willing to take the effort to create this for you. So that's our whole intention here.
Thank you for joining us today and watching our video. We obviously had a lot of things to talk about, and in our next video we'll be driving through a place called Gilman up to Porter Landing. This area has some tunnels that were left over from an old logging industry in the area and has been showcased in quite a few movies. Please keep an eye out for the video, and we hope you enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Feel free to leave a comment, and we look forward to seeing you out on the trails.